Welcome once again to Coach Steele's Finance Training. Happy to have everybody in the room on today. You already know what it is. I am your host, Coach Steele, here on Coach Steele's Finance Training, where we talk about all things financial literacy. And so, here on Coach Steele's Finance Training, I'm live on YouTube, live on Facebook, and live on TikTok. And we have an awesome subject on today. Most of you who are subscribed to the YouTube channel already know the subject because it should show you that we are talking about the financial effects of cultural norms on your money, on your pockets, on your wallet, the physical effects, the psychological effects. How do these things affect you? How do they cause you to spend money? How do these cultural norms that we experience in our own culture? And of course, Coach Steele's Finance Training is an international platform. So we have people from all over listening in. So some of the holidays and different things that are going on in America are going to be similar, but slightly different in other places. But let's discuss those financial effects of cultural norms on your pockets and your wallets. And I also want to drop some nuggets in you to help you steer and stay focused with these things that may happen. Now, many of you may have heard of Romans 12 and 2, where it says, "Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." I want you all to think about that. How does that apply to the different areas in your life? And as y'all are tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training, make sure you jump in the comment section. Make sure you meet me, greet me, say hello, leave a comment. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Throw all of that in the comment section. I'll be happy to read and look at that. But yeah, we don't want to allow certain norms to make us think we should react a certain way. We can pick up patterns and habits and not even realize it. So there's another supporting scripture that I like to deal with. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 20 says, "The wise store up choice food and olive, but fools gulp theirs down." Are you storing up? Are you saving up? Are you building up? Or are you just going through what you have very fast? So these are some of the things that we want to talk about on today. And as y'all are tuning in, those that are on my Facebook page, make sure you dive in that comment section. I'm going to need a note taker on today. I need a volunteer note taker as well as we go through these different points here on Coach Steele's Finance Training. All right, let's go a little bit further on today with some more supporting scriptures. The borrower is always servant or slave to the lender. That's something else that I want you all to think about and keep in your mind as we go through what we're going to go through on today, talking about the financial effects that we have due to our cultural norms that we follow. What are some of these cultural norms that you feel have a financial effect on your wallet, on your pockets on today? Matthew 6:24 says you cannot serve both God and money. Proverbs 13 and 11 says wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but those that save little by little, it will grow. Who gather money little by little, it will grow. Now, I want to know, can you all recognize how cultural marketing, advertising, and social pressure influence financial decisions? How does it affect your pockets? How does it make you react? Do you make decisions on your own, or do you make financial decisions based on what is influencing you? Do you make financial decisions based on the goals and the things you are trying to accomplish in life? Or is there something else pulling at your strings, manipulating you, causing you to react? Those are some of the things we want to talk about on today. And so here on Coach Steele's Finance Training, I see y'all jumping in the comments section. And so happy to have y'all in. Hello, I see you, Miss Yvette, jumping in as well. So let's go a little bit deeper in this comment section. Let me make sure y'all can see y'all's comments. I can see your comments as I'm talking, so I show it on screen as well. So let's go a little bit further here. I want to know, can you all recognize it? Do you understand when you are being, in a sense, manipulated with marketing? Now, sometimes marketing is good because it will be advertising something you actually need, pushing you to get the things that you don't even realize that you need in life. So here on Coach Steele's Finance Training, we want you to know when you are being pressured or influenced, it often leads you to overspend, accumulate debt, and delay wealth building. And we don't want to delay wealth building. Good afternoon, Miss Jones. Happy to have you tuned in to Coach Steele's Finance Training and delay wealth building. Let's discuss some practical strategies to make financial decisions based on values and long-term goals instead of external pressures. How are you reacting? What is causing you to react? Those are some of the things that we want to think about and talk about on today. You all make sure you share the live for other people to tune in and dive in this conversation, because we have some holidays and cultural things coming up as we dive into the second half of 2026. And we need to be aware, we need to have our antennas up as we get ready for different things like Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween, all these different cultural norms and holidays that people react to. But most of the time, we react financially to these things. Some of you are probably wondering, what shirt do I have on? My shirt says, make money, multitask. And of course, that's one of the phrases and things here on Coach Steele's Finance Training that I believe in doing. Make your money work, as opposed to you always having to multitask so much. Be creative, step out on faith, be confident, do your research, do your homework, and make your money work for you. Those are the things that we talk about here on Coach Steele's Finance Training. Now, culture is one of the strongest influence on our spending habits. Every day we are surrounded by advertisements, social media, celebrities, influencers, and traditions telling us what we should do, what we should buy, what we should wear, looking at videos, looking at our favorite icons and actors and actresses. What are they wearing? What season are they in? What to drive, what to give. And if we're not careful, culture will shape our wallets before we realize it. Culture can cause your wallet to be broke, but if you have a strong mind, if you have a strong concentration, if you have strong discipline to do what you're supposed to do when you need to do it, when these cultural norms and traditions come knocking at your front door, whether it's on TV or on your laptop or on your desktop or on your phone, all of these different devices are listening to what we're saying, what we're talking about, what we're researching. If you have discipline, you will not be negatively influenced to get things that you shouldn't get just because you fall into a norm. It's almost like when you fall into these cultural norms and traditions that cause you or make you want to spend money when you shouldn't, it's like getting on one of those roller coaster rides at the fair or some big theme park, and whichever way it goes, you're just stuck in there. You've agreed to fasten your seatbelt and take the ride. And in 2026, as we get ready to dive into some more cultural norms and traditions and holidays, I don't want you to just be so willing to put that seatbelt on, ladies and gentlemen, and take this financial roller coaster ride that has everyone going crazy. And then you get to the end of December and you say, well, maybe I can make it up when I get my refund check in January, February. No, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to be strategic. I want you to start thinking different about your finances so you can make better decisions when you deal with financial effects of these cultural norms and traditions that we see every single year. So now, the question is not whether culture influences us. We know it does. The question is whether we will allow God's wisdom and sound financial principles to guide our spending instead. So here's an icebreaker question for you all. In that comment section, I want to see what your answers are. Have you ever purchased something because everyone else was buying it? Have you ever purchased something and you bought it and you realize, I don't even want this thing? You don't even know why you got it. Have you ever purchased something because you were influenced to buy it, you saw other people doing it, you thought it would be cool, and then turn around, you didn't even want it? In that comment section, what did you buy? What did you buy that you don't want? Have you ever experienced that? Have any of you all ever gone through that? Here on Coach Steele's Finance Training, as y'all are tuning in, thank you for joining in, Benjamin. Thank you for joining in, Mastermind. As we talk about financial literacy and this subject of the financial effects of how these cultural norms and traditions can affect our pockets, our wallets, I want to hear, have y'all ever bought something that you just know you shouldn't have bought in the first place? Was it a car? Was it a necklace? Was it jewelry? Ladies, was it some earrings? What was it? Was it a purse? What was that thing that you bought that it really threw your whole budget off and you didn't even need, you didn't want? So those are some of the things I want you all to think about. As you think about that, let's get into point number one on today, ladies and gentlemen. Let's deal with point number one. Point number one today, I want you to understand that marketing can create artificial needs. What do I mean by that? My note takers on today, where are you at? Marketing can create artificial needs. And so what you have to understand is, if marketing can create artificial needs, if the need is artificial, then guess what? It's not real. It's not mandatory. It's not required. It's not necessary. It's not compulsory. I want you all to think about this on today. Businesses are designed to increase their sales, but not necessarily improve your financial future. Their goal, when you look at most businesses, they're not designed to prop you up and set you up for success, but more importantly, it's to prop them up and sort of set themselves up for success to stay in the green. I see Timothy Scott. He says, yes, he bought some shoes before that he really realized that maybe he didn't need to buy, or maybe he bought them because he saw, someone else buy them. So his example are some shoes. As y'all are tuned in to Coach Steele's Finance Training, make sure you share the live for other people to dive into this conversation we're having about how we feel. Do cultural norms and traditions have a financial effect on your pockets? Does it cause you to spend when you normally wouldn't spend? Does it cause you to do certain things during certain holidays or traditions that completely throw your budget off? Or do you all prep for it? Do you financially prepare for these different months and seasons that come along? Now, at the same time, let's say there's someone who has, $20,000 worth of debt on a credit card, right? But then you got Christmas coming up, and then they go spend $5,000 on Christmas gifts. But that $20,000 worth of credit card debt is still collecting interest. Now, they can prep to spend that $5,000, but I still believe they should have took that $5,000 and knocked down that bad credit card debt. If that credit card debt wasn't from flipping a property that they're going to make money back on, or use that bad credit card debt in a way to where it's going to bring in more income and make them a profit, then they need to get rid of that first. Let's go further. Marketing creates artificial needs. Now, marketing appeals to emotions more than your actual logic. Has anybody ever experienced some type of marketing that dealt with your emotions and not with your logic? It often tells you what? You deserve it. It says limited time offer. Oh man. For some of y'all, all they need to do really is tell y'all they taking $2 off, $5 off. It tells you to buy it now. It tells you that please don't miss out on this deal. You may not see it again. Some people get FOMO, fear of missing out. Everyone has it, and you should have it too, and how it can make your life better. Advertising is designed to make people feel incomplete until they have purchased the product. There's science, there is the psychological part and effects of this, that they've done homework and research to figure out, how do we reel this person in? Think about basic things like credit cards, right? Credit cards, all they got to do is tell us that we can get 0% interest for 18 months, 24 months, 21 months. And all of a sudden, now you got a new credit card to add to the collection of the rest of the 12 credit cards. And now we transfer all the debt on this, and the cycle continues because we don't have a strategy. We don't have a plan. And hence we have negative financial effects of these cultural norms and traditions that we do. So let's go a little bit further, ladies and gentlemen. What are some of these things? When we say advertising is designed for people to feel incomplete until they purchase a product, what are some of those products? In that comment section, come on, hit me with some of those products. What are some of those products that we all feel and just believe that we have to have or else? Some of us, our phones work well. Who's guilty of trying to get the new smartphone or the new iPhone or whatever it is as soon as it comes out, even though you have a perfectly working phone already? Luxury vehicles, designer clothes, electronics, subscription services. Those are some of the things that we just feel we need to have, but all of those are wants. The things that are really needs, ladies and gentlemen, are food, shelter, transportation, utilities. Those are the things that we need. And those other things, those wants, those are things that we can go without. But marketing can convince you to buy things you weren't thinking about 5 minutes ago. Marketing can convince you to buy some things that wasn't even on your mind, it wasn't on your radar. All of a sudden, you get an overwhelming feeling saying, oh my gosh, I need that. I got to have it. Those that are tuning in on TikTok, you already know. As you go through TikTok, TikTok will show you all kind of stuff that you thought you would never even need, or you didn't even know it existed. But when you dive into TikTok world, all of a sudden, when your phone's been listening to you all day, TikTok has already designed your financial spending for the rest of the year of the things you should want to buy. So, as we're talking about these financial effects of cultural norms and traditions, wherever you are, how they affect you, we know point number one talked about marketing and these artificial effects that it has on us, because marketing creates artificial needs, things that we don't need. Let's get to point number two on today. Now, point number two, I need y'all to be honest with me on point number two. Point number two, holidays can become financial traps. Who's a witness in the room? Who can raise their hand? And I don't know if there's a hand emoji, raise your hand. Has a holiday ever been a financial trap for you? Have you ever gone to a holiday, some type of cultural norm, tradition, family reunion, something special that you normally do or you're a part of? Has it ever become a financial trap? How many of you are, at work and all of a sudden they say you got to buy 2 or 3 people a gift, or you got to spend this amount of money for everybody for the holidays, or we're going to draw names from a hat and you got to buy this gift. And we feel pressured into doing it because everyone else is doing it. And then some people say, well, it's just $25. But what if you're paycheck to paycheck and you don't have an extra $25 to be buying gifts for a stranger or for a coworker? Guess what? Keep that money in your pocket and pay your bills. Make an extra payment towards your credit card debt. We cannot continue to go through the same cycle over and over and have negative financial effects because we get caught up in cultural norms and traditions, and now our pockets don't look like they should, and we are not reaching our financial goals. I need you all to reverse the situation and make your money multitask. Put your money to work. Put your mind to work to make your money work for you, as opposed to getting stuck in the same cycle over and over and over. So holidays can become a financial trap if you allow them to. So let's go a little bit further here. Holidays should create memories, not debt. I want y'all to remember that. So when you're dealing with these things, you're dealing with the influences, I want you all to remember something simple. The holiday should create memories, not create bad debt. Let's discuss some major spending seasons. As y'all are tuned in to Coach Steele's Finance Training, what are some seasons? What are some holidays throughout the year that people do a lot of major spending on? For some of you, is it Cyber Monday? Come on, fill up that comment section. What holidays do you find yourself doing major spending? Is it Black Friday? Is it Halloween? Now, many of you are getting ready when we talk about cultural norms and traditions and the financial effects of it. Many of us, it is July. And of course, if you're in America, most parents and adults are prepping for their children to go back to school. Book bags, uniforms, shoes, clothes. Kid has to have this. Kid has to have that. Here's those financial effects of these norms and traditions, where children feel like, I need to have this to be successful. I need this so I don't get picked on. Everyone else is going to have this. Everyone else is going to have that. And so now back to school is another big moment where parents are spending a lot of money. For some of you, is it Easter? What does your Easter look like? Are you buying brand new Sunday clothes to wear so that you can come in looking bright and shiny on a Sunday, but you have other financial obligations you need to have priority and take care of? Is it Father's Day? Is it Mother's Day? Is it Valentine's Day? Is it Christmas? There's so many different traditions and things throughout the year, pockets throughout the year, that get rough for people financially because they feel like they have to follow these norms and traditions. Now, many families, through my research, they overspend, they use credit cards, they finance gifts. I want you all to think about this. Most people finance a house and they finance a car so they can have transportation and a place to live. But people panic and worry about the peer pressure so much throughout holidays and traditions that they will finance gifts. They'll be paying a credit card for a gift they gave in December. The next Christmas comes around and that same credit card still has a balance on it. Now you've paid for that gift twice. It's okay to say, I don't have it. It's okay to say, I can't do that this year. I want to talk to you all today about being strategic and being financially disciplined to not fall into these traps and peer pressures. It's okay. The emotional peer pressure to do more often replaces wise financial planning. Yeah, if you let peer pressure get to you, you'll forget about your financial strategy and your financial goals that you have in place. A meaningful holiday does not require financial hardship. So now, I want you all to know this. Don't spend 12 months paying for one day of celebration. In other words, don't spend the next 12 months having to pay off a credit card, or some type of loan for one day. You cannot dedicate 365 days financially to one debt over something that happened in one day. It just doesn't make sense. Let's get to point number 3 on today as we're driving through this. Cultural norms pressure people to impress others. Now, I want y'all to think about that. I want you to think about that. Cultural norms pressure people to impress others. Some of the things we see on TV, some of the things we see on videos, these things that are cultural norms, it pressures people to impress others. I got to pull up with the best whip. I got to pull up with the best outfit. I got to make sure, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to look nice, but you don't have to go broke to look nice. You don't have to go broke to be presentable. You have to learn how to shop strategically. One day on Coach Steele's Finance Training, I'm going to have 2 ladies that I know very well. They're going to come on here and talk about how they thrift and how they are strategic. They dress very nice. They're very fashionable, very on point, very impressive, but they don't spend a lot of money. They've mastered the art of looking amazing, but not having to spend a bunch of money. And so I'm going to have them come on one day and they're going to talk about some of their strategies and some of the things that they do. But I can't have you all, don't want you falling into the habits of these cultural norms that cause you to go broke. We got too many goals that we're trying to accomplish here on Coach Steele's Finance Training. So many financial decisions are made to gain approval rather than to build stability. Are you trying to impress your neighbors? Are you trying to impress your family? Are you trying to impress a lady or a man or somebody to gain their approval rather than build stability? What's more impressive is if you have built a strong portfolio. What's more impressive if you have some financial strength to where you can do what you want to do. I can choose to buy this. I can choose to go out to eat. I can buy that car. I just choose not to. I don't have to. It's not necessary, but I have access to the funds to be able to do it comfortably. So those are some of the things that we need to think about, because the culture that we live in is always going to encourage bigger houses, new cars, luxury vacations, expensive weddings, brand name clothes, and dining out frequently. But let me tell you all something about dining out. There's nothing wrong with dining out, but I would say ever since COVID, what I've learned, restaurants, businesses, they didn't have as many workers in the building, and it's almost like maybe the quality food that restaurants or fast food places used to have, maybe they had to reduce on how much they were spending because of the cost and inflation. But what I find now is cooking at home, eating food that you cook from scratch or whatever the case may be from house, going to buy groceries, or whether like some of us maybe grow our own fruits and vegetables. When you bring that food to the house, and you cook it yourself, it usually tastes better than the average restaurant you go to. You're more happier with the food that you cooked at home than the money you went and spent extra on at some other place. So anyway, people often compare themselves with friends, family, coworkers, social media influencers, and so we need to know what Romans and remind ourselves what Romans chapter 12 verse 2 says. Believers not to conform to worldly patterns. Don't get stuck up in these patterns. You put yourself back on the roller coaster ride, and the roller coaster ride is just going to toss you around wherever. So, am I buying things because I need it? That's some of the questions. That's one of the questions I want you to ask yourself. Do I buy things because I need it or because I want other people to notice? Are you just buying it for other people to notice? Now, if you are modeling something, like example, I have this shirt on my website. I sell this shirt, Make Money Multitask. So I have this shirt because I want other people to notice, but I want them to also buy it because it brings in funds for Coach Steele's finance training as well. Comparison is one of the most expensive habits that you can develop. Did y'all know that? Comparison is one of the most expensive habits that you can develop. You don't have to compare where you are with someone else or compare, the shoes or the car or the house, all this stuff. Sometimes y'all are comparing yourselves to people who are drowning in debt, but you just don't know it. So here on Coach Steele's Finance Training, one of the things that I do is I am consistently working with multiple clients, teaching them how to get out of debt, teaching them how to pay off their mortgage at an accelerated rate using the HELOC strategy. Now, if that's something that you're interested in and you need to learn, and you have mortgage debt, you have credit card debt, personal loans, student loans, car notes, credit cards, all of that stuff, solar panel balances that need to be paid off, then definitely reach out to me here on Coach Steele's Finance Training, and we can do some financial coaching as well. Successful wealth builders make decisions based on purpose, not popularity. Stop worrying about who's going to see you, but you need to do it because of a purpose. Wealth builders budget monthly. They delay gratification. And we invest consistently. No matter what, every month I'm constantly investing in something. Those are some of the things that you need to think about. We save intentionally. It is premeditated. Before the money hits our account, we already know where the money is going. We got a short-term plan. We have a long-term plan. We're constantly looking for the next asset that we can potentially buy. So you have to think long-term at all times. And we ask, will this purchase increase my future? Is this within my budget? Will this create financial success for me? Those are some of the things that you need to think about as you are consistently handling your finances. And I know sometimes it can get difficult, guys. Sometimes it can get rough and you cannot see the light at the end of the tunnel. But if you could stay consistent, if you continue to practice discipline, you're going to get closer and closer to accomplishing the goals that you want to accomplish. You have to understand the subject today is talking about the financial effects of cultural norms and traditions on our pockets, on our money, on our wallets. Ladies and gentlemen, because we have been brainwashed and going into certain cycles and roller coaster rides, you have to raise your hand and say, I'm getting off this ride today. I'm not going to allow cultural norms and traditions to keep taking me on this same roller coaster ride, and I can't get off. It is too costly to stay on this ride. What is more efficient is to develop discipline, to develop focus, to develop a plan so that you can get to where you're trying to go. And I want you to understand it's never too late. It doesn't matter how old you are or how long you've been on the ride. It's never too late to get off of this crazy financial roller coaster ride that is having negative effects on your pockets because of these norms and traditions. So some of you want to make large purchases. Give yourself time. Wait 24 to 72 hours. Think about that thing before you get caught up in the motion. Be able to take a step back and say, do I really need this? Or is this just something that I want? More impulse purchases disappear with time. Think about that. The more time you take to decide to buy it, most people don't make impulse purchases anymore. Now, Every dollar you don't spend impulsively is another dollar available to build wealth. It is another dollar available to eliminate debt. Those are some of the things that I want you all to think about as we go through this process. Let's go a little bit further. Point number 5, ladies and gentlemen, as y'all are tuned in to Coach Steele's Finance Training and y'all have hung with me so far, we are on our last point on today and we're going to get out your way. Let's look at point number 5 on today for my note takers. Point number 5 is, as y'all are listening, build a family culture instead of following the world's culture. I want you to build your family's culture. That way you understand and you have strong values instead of following the world's culture and the world's value. So when we talk about the financial effect of cultural norms on our pockets, on our wallets, and what we deal with day to day, if you focus on building your family culture with good principles, with good traditions, where you develop the norms and the habits and the patterns that your family should believe and know, then the world's effect cannot affect what you built internally. So let's go a little bit deeper on that. Let's go a little bit deeper. What are some traditions and values that you have in your family? What are some of the things that y'all stand on, that y'all believe, that y'all practice, that has been beneficial and that helps the family be successful long term? Those are some of the things that I want you all to think about on today. Families should intentionally establish financial values instead of allowing society to define them. Don't let society not define them for you. Society says use a credit card as an emergency fund. That doesn't make sense. How do I have an artificial emergency fund? Like, how do I have an emergency fund that's going to cause me to get in more debt? Because it's really not a fund, it's a loan. So when the world says use this credit card for emergency fund, the world is saying get deeper in debt. But you got to remember one of the scriptures I used early on in the beginning: the borrower is always slave and servant to the lender. Why would my emergency fund make sense to cause me to be a slave? We have to build up our emergency fund. Certain principles you have to instill in your family before the world instills it into your family. Now, let's go a little bit further. Let's talk about Christmas. A lot of families struggle during Christmas time. And I don't get it. I don't understand, because usually whoever's birthday it is, that's who you buy a gift for. Well, if we are always celebrating the birth of Christ, then why are we always panicking and worrying about getting everybody else a gift when it's not even their birthday? Hello, y'all are tuned in to Coach Steele's Finance Training. Make sure you are sharing the live for other people to tune in to this conversation as we're on our 5th and final point here. And of course, make sure you go to the YouTube channel and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Let's go a little bit further. Let's try focusing on family experiences. Let's budget the gift exchanges so it doesn't break everybody. Everybody doesn't have the same budget. Sometimes you can focus on coming together and making homemade gifts. You can do acts of service. You can do charitable giving to other people that are less fortunate, instead of competing financially and people struggling after the holidays. Let's practice living below your means, saving first, investing together, teaching children about money, and having a family motto, something, or family slogan, something that helps instill that principle or those values that you're trying to teach. We don't spend to impress. We build to bless. Check that out. That's a good family motto right there. We don't spend to impress. We build to bless. We build to bless others. We build to be able to give. We're going to build. We're going to be comfortable. We're not going to go without. We're not going to come up short, but we are going to build so financially that we have what we need, but we can also help others. And so that model is very, very unselfish. Now, what are some signs, ladies and gentlemen, as y'all are tuned in to Coach Steele's Finance Training? Usually I'm live Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone, but today we had to make some adjustments today chosen to win, and Trisha. But even with that being said, appreciate y'all tuned in if it's your first time tuning in. But some signs that culture is controlling your wallet. You shop because you're bored. Anybody shop because they're bored? Bored? Let's be honest. Put your hand up in that comment section. You feel pressure to keep up with others. I know there used to be a phrase saying keeping up with the Joneses. Holidays automatically mean debt. Is that some of you? You just know you're going to have to swipe your card. You finance things that lose value quickly. That's something to think about. Wealthy people, we like to finance things that are going to appreciate in value, that is going to pay us monthly, and allows us to leverage as well so that we can do the process over and over again. And so someone else, as we leverage those things that appreciate in value, like for example, a property, rental property, someone else is going to pay that down as we leverage it as well. And as we leverage against that thing, it may not even be a taxable event. Let's go a little bit further. Now, does social media influence you and your spending decisions? Does TikTok get the best of you? Does Facebook get the best of you and you just click, you already got your credit card there on file and you just, next thing you know, you bought something again. Next thing you know, you got another Amazon box coming in again, another Amazon package. You cannot let the social media influences get the best of you. All right. You know prices better than you know your financial goals. You know the cost of everything better than your own financial goals, what you have coming in, what you have going out. Those are things that you need to think about. As y'all are tuned in to Coach Steele's Finance Training, make sure you share the live so someone else can go back and watch this. How to resist financial pressure before every purchase. Simple. Ask yourself some questions. Do I need this? Can I afford this without debt, or am I going to have to put it on debt? Am I going to have to finance this thing? Is it in my budget? Will this purchase help or hurt my financial future? Am I buying from wisdom or am I buying from emotion? And so those are some of the things that I want you all to think about on today as you're tuned in to Coach Steele's Finance Training. Let's get close towards the end here. Will I still buy this if no one else ever saw it? Are you buying it for other people to see? Are you going broke just to get the applause from someone? So, 3 cultural pressures that tempt you to overspend. What are they? I want you all to write this down. When you have time, I want you to write down 3 cultural pressures that tempt you to overspend. Now, then I want you to write 3 financial habits that will replace those pressures. We're going to find a solution to the answer. What are some financial habits that you can come up with and do that will replace those pressures? I want you to budget before shopping. That's 1. Save before spending. That's 2. Invest before upgrading your lifestyle. Before you start upgrading your lifestyle, causing another reoccurring debt or one-time payment for something, invest first. Culture constantly tells us to consume more, ladies and gentlemen. God's wisdom teaches us to steward resources faithfully, live with contentment, and build wealth patiently. Financial freedom rarely comes from following the crowd. It comes from following sound principles with discipline and with purpose. Now, here's my closing challenge for you all today. This week, identify one spending habit that is driven by cultural expectations rather than your financial goals. Replace that habit with one intentional action that moves you closer to financial stability, such as increasing your savings, paying down debt, getting rid of a credit card, or investing in an appreciating asset. Those are just some examples. And in closing, I want you to remember this. Culture, ladies and gentlemen, culture teaches you to spend for today, brain. Wisdom teaches you to build for tomorrow. The strongest financial decision you can make is to stop letting society determine your spending and start letting your values determine your future. That's powerful right there. Some of you may need to go back and listen to this all over again. You may have missed a majority of it. There's 5 points that we dealt with on today, talking about how the financial effects of cultural norms and traditions on your pockets, on your wallets, on your purses, your money on today. And those things are very, very important. I appreciate everybody tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training. Hopefully this has helped you. Hopefully this has blessed you, and that you all can grow from this and get better. I appreciate everybody once again tuning in. Share this with someone else. Also, last but not least, please go to my Facebook page, Simon Steele. You'll see my picture. You'll see the back picture. You'll see my team of leaders in Cameroon, Africa, and we're in a group picture. Go to my Facebook page and click the subscribe button for 99 cents a month. Please, 99 cents a month. You can support the mission work that goes on in Cameroon, Africa. We're building churches. We're training leaders. We're feeding people who are less fortunate. Some people cannot afford medical attention. We help with that. We help with orphanages. A lot of good positive things are happening. You can see some of the videos of what's going on with the churches that we're building in Cameroon, Africa. You can see that on the YouTube channel, Coach Steele's Finance Training. But make sure you go to my Facebook page, Simon Steele, and subscribe for 99 cents a month. 99 cents a month, not much at all. That's less than $12 for the year. You can have great impact in Cameroon, Africa, sowing to good ground. Appreciate everybody tuning in, and you all have a blessed rest of your Saturday.